So the new thing in the corporate world and the tech world, and it's huge right now, is ICOs, initial coin offerings. And it's in the cryptocurrency world, Bitcoins, um, and tokens, and all these terms that is very foreign and a completely different language to most people that are not in this world. But it's a very fascinating world that's taking over the tech world. And basically, cryptocurrency comes from this idea of unregulated and decentralized currency where there is no government actually controlling it. And it's completely blown up right now. It's exploding. It's everywhere. And the new thing in that world is initial public coin offerings, where it's a new way to raise funding for companies by issuing coins and tokens and cryptocurrencies instead of actually issuing stock and shares in the company. One, you get rid of the whole equity part of it where people that are investing in your company don't have voting rights and don't have equity. Two, it's not regulated by the SEC, or at least it's not right now. But, I think what's very interesting in terms of legal aspects of it is now the SEC is trying to come in and regulate it, and there's so many rules that you would have to follow if that happens. And now there's so many loopholes to kind of get around. How do you avoid, if the SEC starts actually regulating it, how do you actually avoid the legal problems with that, and how do you get around it? So a lot of our clients are getting into that right now, and it's this whole new world that I'm learning about and learning how to protect my clients from it. Every contract is different from the next, and what you're trying to achieve is always different. So provisions always vary from contract to contract, but the key provisions that I like to put in every contract all across the board, one is, governing law. So, if it's in California, I always put California, or I usually, even if it's in other states, I usually put California because we're familiar with the laws of this state, and we want to make sure that there is no surprise in what state ends up being the governing law. Venue, jurisdiction, make sure that if there's a litigation that comes out of this contract, you have control in terms of where that's going to happen, so you don't have to fly across the country just to litigate this case. The next thing is attorney's fees. You want to avoid any types of litigation for no reason and people bringing actions against you for no reason. So you put in there an attorney's fees clause where if someone does and they lose, or if they're clearly breaching it and you have to go and try and enforce it, you get your attorney's fees in return. And the next thing is, in a lot of contracts, I like to put confidentiality, especially when the terms of the deal are sensitive. So I put in a confidentiality provision where the other person can't go and publicly talk about this contract and the terms, especially if it's a settlement agreement.